All right, Broncos country, that puts a bow on it for the Denver Broncos preseason. They've finished the preseason 3-0. It was awesome to see. I mean, all the good vibes. We know who our starting quarterback is. Most of Broncos country are excited about that. I think it's hard. I'd be hard pressed to find someone that isn't excited about the direction that we're going with Sean Payton, the ownership group, and of course, Bo Nix being named the starting quarterback. Bo came in and made a strong case for why he should start, and Sean Payton agrees. So we didn't see Bo, of course, today. So that left Sean Payton with Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson. Most of the day we had Zach Wilson. I mean, looking like he's ready to be named the backup. I mean, honestly, if you look at a lot of what he put on display, sure there was, like I said in the halftime video, some cause for basically the ability to cause for concern when it comes to the decision making. Of course, he's still a reclamation project, but I'm not going back on what I said in the halftime video. I definitely want to see all three quarterbacks held on this roster and continue to see Zach Wilson work on those decision making opportunities that he has. It was pretty cool to see, even though they mentioned it in broadcast, an interesting sequence on the 46-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Johnson. He hooked up with Brandon Johnson twice on deep passes. First one was about a yard short of being a touchdown, so that was pretty cool. He actually, I don't know if the Cardinals were playing defense on the first one. I think there was two people, Michael Bandy, might have been Jalen Virgil and Brandon Johnson, both wide open, so he kind of had an option, pick your poison type of deal on that first strike to Brandon Johnson. And the second one, it was maybe the DB was trying to refrain from putting the hurt on Brandon Johnson, or thought it would be more wise to try to play the ball, so he just put his hand up, but didn't really play the ball. I don't know. We'd have to see maybe a different angle or relook at that, but based on what they were showing on the broadcast, it seemed like the DB just misplayed it. But still, it was nice to see a 46-yard strike for a touchdown from Zach Wilson, who is continuing to grow his popularity in Broncos country, both as the third string quarterback and potentially in the future being a backup. I still think that Jarrett Stidham keeps his job, and I believe that it makes sense for the Denver Broncos to rock with all three. Tyler Beatty continued looking very well through the second half of the game. Someone that I had high hopes for and really thought we'd see a better camp out of and a better preseason was actually Blake Watson. Blake Watson, you look at his Memphis tape and it's hard not to get excited about him. And then every time he touched the ball through the preseason and any videos, any type of display of his abilities, just kept you, if you had high expectations like I did, left you wanting more and just not understanding why that wasn't happening. Tyler Beatty kind of looked like what I expected Blake Watson to look like, an undrafted or late round pick that's going to, find a way to be on the roster and maybe in the future be like a CJ Anderson type, where maybe he doesn't start the season, but opportunities arise and the ability to show his talents would give him that opportunity to take on a more prevalent role on the offense. But good for Tyler Beatty, having a great training camp, having great preseason. So we covered the potential that he has as far as a roster spot in the halftime video, but he did everything he could to earn a spot and stay on this 53-man roster come cut day. So great things from the offensive side of the ball. Even on the second half of the game, you start to see more and more players that are going to be cut or find themselves looking for a new roster, a new home come next week. But even still, Jalen Virgil, Michael Bandy, Brandon Johnson. I'm a huge fan of Brandon Johnson, and to see him get in the end zone, all of which looked great. So offensive side of the ball continue to look good, and defensively, that Lavelle Bailey pick six was awesome. I know he's undrafted, and it's kind of tough to justify a roster spot for an undrafted guy, but he's done very well throughout camp and practices and OTAs and preseason to have Sean Payton and company give him that opportunity. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for a lot of these under the radar guys on the Broncos roster. And like Payton said a couple weeks ago, we're going to cut some guys that are going to get picked up and play real football for other teams. It's going to be unfortunate because you wish you could have all the players that you truly believe in make the roster, but when it gets cut to 53, have to make some tough decisions, both offensively and defensively. I look forward to going through all of those options and exploring what this roster is going to look like going forward after cut day. Once again, Broncos end this preseason 3-0, capping off a 38-12 victory over the Arizona Cardinals in Game 3, the final preseason game. Now we look forward to Week 1 and the regular season starting in just 2 weeks. And I look forward to bringing all the news, notes, and highlights to you guys throughout the entire 2024 season. Thanks for tuning in on this video, and I'll see you on the next vid. Go Broncos.